Hello, Wobbly Phil here. Over the 18 months or so that I've been running this channel, I've made a few videos about weird motorcycles that have been powered by car engines. There was the Brazilian Amazonas with a VW engine, there was the Italian Shifty 900 with a Fiat engine, and there was the French BFG with a Citroën engine. Even the mighty German Munch Mammoth was powered by a modified NSU engine. Of course, you'd expect ingenious foreign engineers to shoehorn a car engine into a motorcycle frame, wouldn't you? Us boring Brits would never come up with such a crazy idea, would we? Well, it's time to rethink all that. Back in the 1970s, I had a friend called Phil who crammed a Hillman Imp engine into a Royal Enfield frame. We all thought he was pretty potty, but heavens above, he ended up touring much of planet Earth on his creation, which made us reassess his sanity. There was a tradition back then of doing this, and Phil's Impfield wasn't the only Impfield I'd heard of. There were rumours of other exotic combinations.
This is the toughest, roughest school the car can go to. The racetracks of Europe. And this is what came out. The latest Ford Cortina.
Like Ford Cortina engines crammed into Norton frames to make Nortinas. They were all pretty much one-off experiments, carried out by the Alan Millyards of the day.
In this video, I'm going to be explaining how I made my 2.3 litre Kawasaki V12 back in 2002.
But what if I told you there was a British company which started in the 1980s and carried on until the 1990s, making, of all things, motorcycles with Austin mini engines? You'd go, "Nah, Phil, you're having a giraffe." And I'd go, "It was called Austel Motorcycles, and it was based in Maidenhead, Berkshire." And here it is. It was the brainchild of engineer and designer Chris Castell, who built his first prototype in 1981, so fairly concurrent with the 70s car engine on two wheels thing. By dropping a mini engine into a motorcycle frame, Mr. Castell's ambition was to produce an economic bike which was durable and easy to maintain. His first version featured a side-mounted radiator, automatic gearbox including reverse, and leading link forks which he designed himself. As you might imagine, it was a chunky old beast, apparently weighing in at 680 pounds. That's around 310 kilos dry. Fuel economy was claimed to be 90 miles per gallon or 3 litres per 100 kilometres at motorway speeds, with a top speed of 125 miles per hour. That's 200 kilometres per hour. Of course, being such an obscure machine, it's not surprising that I couldn't find any contemporary road tests. So impressed was a neighbour that Mr. Castell was commissioned to build one for him too, and thus a small business was born. Because of the tractability of the engine, the next logical step was to attach a sidecar to the Austel, which was christened the Pullman. Bearing only a passing resemblance to a Pullman train, this luxury conveyance had a hand gearshift and shaft drive. It first appeared in 1987 with an 850cc mini engine, with production models later upgraded to 1300cc's. I think it's safe to say these machines wouldn't win any beauty contests, and in the end Mr. Castell only made 10 before his untimely demise in 1991, with another completed from parts after that. Sadly, I wasn't able to find any moving picture of the Austel, but it turns out that Mr. Castell's original 1980s prototype is currently taxed. It doesn't require an MOT as it's over 40 years old. Which raises the intriguing prospect that it's out and about on UK roads somewhere. This is pure speculation, but it could be the Austel that was displayed at the excellent London Motorcycle Museum, which closed a few years ago. I do know that a lot of the museum's collection was subsequently auctioned off. If you've spotted it, or any other Austels, do let me know. They do occasionally come up at auction. This Austel was sold by Bonhams in 2020 for £3,900, about $5,250 and is the second Austel made by Mr. Castell for his neighbour. And this Pullman was at Bonhams in 2015 when it fetched £5,750, almost $8,000. The Austel was one of those British curiosities that we don't see much anymore, a garage bike that was turned into a small business by a dedicated enthusiast, along the lines of the Healy Square 4. I guess that kind of inventiveness is channeled more into things that go ping on our phones these days. Lastly, I must give a friendly Three Phils shout out to several viewers, including Stuart Ellinson 8846 and Simon Moverley, who have mentioned the Austel in the comments. Thanks for bringing this little-known, weird and wonderful British motorcycle to my attention. And if you know of any weird and wonderful motorcycles that deserve the Three Phils treatment, do let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please consider liking, subscribing, commenting and sharing to let YouTube know we're doing something right here at Three Phils. Thank you.